back to the No State Project. I'm your host, Mark Stevens, the website markstevens.net. And it's interesting, we're talking about success stories and things getting thrown out. I want to thank Jason in California for sending this to me on Skype. And again, the Skype is Frank Rizzo 3. He just sent me, it was a traffic ticket that was kicked out. And they filed the demur and the Brady request. And it's date stamped October 29th, 2014. And it was nice that he redacted this so I can actually possibly get it posted this afternoon after the big show. And so, again, the demur is based on a lack of evidence proving jurisdiction, a lack of evidence proving that there is a valid complaint, that there's not sufficient facts to set forth an allegation, a violation, and that there's no evidence of a valid cause of action. And what they did was they wrote down, it says, a check mark in dismissed. And I love the reason. Consider this as a one-time warning. Warning, yes. But it was thrown out. That was by the city of San Luis Obispo in California. So I want to thank Jason. This is actually his friend Anthony that stood up to these bullies and got this thing tossed out. That was, it was 2 days ago on October 29th. So big attaboy to Anthony, and big thank you for Jason for sending that to me. This may be the quickest I've been, gotten something and been able to get it on the air to report. But I want to get back, and I'm doing this video for Jake and other people who may be in the same situation where they're not understanding a lot of what's going on. They're missing a lot of the material because they're just going by the website and they're not actually listening to the archives or the epic live broadcast that we do every Saturday here on LRN.FM. So I'm going to embed this video in the regular show archive, but I'm also going to embed it with the article of what Deron in Washington, D.C. getting the traffic ticket kicked out. So if other people see these comments, then they can go down and they can see that I am addressing these. And I did invite Jake to come on the show today, and he's more than welcome. One of the things we're going to be doing later in the show, if time allows, I have a few recorded segments where somebody thought they had evidence proving the Constitution and laws apply just because your physical location. So we addressed those. And so I did invite Jake to come on. I have not heard from him. There's nothing on the website to indicate that he is going to do that. But that doesn't mean he's not going to call today. So he's definitely welcome, as everybody is welcome, whether you're a fan or you're the most hard-nosed critic who can't stand the sound of my voice, which, honestly speaking, I can understand if you don't live in the Northeast and why there's not a whole, whether it may be, outside the Northeast of Long Island and stuff like that. It just grates on my nerve. I can't listen to it. But you're still more than welcome to call into the show or contact me at markstevens@mail.com or Frank Rizzo 3 on Skype and just tell me, hey, let's record a show and this is and we'll do it. So that's what we did. So this will be embedded in the show notes and also the article that Jake is commenting on. And yes, Dan, I wouldn't say fans, but I'll say listeners, people who listen, but not I'll correct myself there. Listeners, friends, yeah, my friends. So why is it that every one of the success stories always has some other factor that makes the strategy inconclusive in its effectiveness? Again, like I mentioned before, asking questions is an effective way to show that the accuser doesn't have a leg to stand on. That's how you keep the burden of proof on them, and you ask the questions. And if they're going to be forthcoming and honest and responsive to the questions, you will you'll find out. The evidence I have of its effectiveness of showing that they have nothing is I've got a ton. I think I've got a ton. I've got several gigs worth of evidence, worth of audio, and some in writing, where asking the questions does bring out that they have nothing. The George Costanza. I dug Jeep Jerry down, and I got nothing, or just I got nothing. So and Matt in Australia thought it would be a good idea to get some of those shirts, and so maybe if we have a witness on the stand, just as they're stumbling around and going to admit I got nothing, just give them one of those George Costanza T-shirts. I got nothing. And it's not even true. If you go through these success stories, it's not even true that there's some other factor. There are always factors, but we can show on a number of them conclusively that the motion itself was granted. So it really, it's not true that every single one, because that's just not accurate. And markstevens.net, there's hundreds of pieces of evidence to prove that. He says he quotes me, but it does point out the reasons why it was thrown out. I think I can say with certainty it was kicked out because of the motion. The accuser could not meet their burden of proof on jurisdiction. Well, we're certain about that because there's nothing in the record that they provided. And he says, great, let's take your word for it. You don't have to take my word for it. You can challenge these people on your own, which a lot of people have done. I don't ask that anyone take my word for anything. I'm all for the evidence. So if someone has evidence of a more effective way to show that your accuser is full of crap than asking questions, I'm all ears. He says it's like a psychic saying they have powers, but it's always in a concealed room, or not all of the conditions a skeptic would impose are met, and something is always amiss. I don't get that, and I don't get that at all. The strategy is right there for anyone, and I've got plenty of examples on the website, in and out of court, to show how effective it is. The evidence is there. I mean, I've spoken to how many deputy attorney generals where they even say, well, the code applies because the code said so. That's not me being a psychic saying, take my word for it. It's right there in video. Colby Granville. That's HD video. Yeah, I know it was with a phone, but it was still HD video, where I asked him a question, and about evidence-proven laws of Arizona and Tempe apply to me because I'm physically in Tempe, Arizona. And he said, you want your evidence? Well, we have jurisdiction because we said so. So I don't know if that doesn't, if you can look at that and deny that, you're not a skeptic. Your mind. See, the thing is, being a skeptic, one of the first rules of being a skeptic is not to have a closed mind, not to have any preconceived notions, that you're supposed to go have an open mind and accept what the evidence tells you. So maybe I would suggest to Jake, look at some of the videos I've done where I have a federal magistrate admitting that federal law is applied arbitrarily, that there is no evidence, it really is just because they said so, and they're willing to shoot you dead. Or look at the Colby Granville video. I mean, it's on the website, it's on YouTube, and he even came on the show. So I'm not keeping anything secret from anybody. I mean, I've gone in front of city councils. I got the video on the website. I've asked these questions and shown how effective they are right in front of city council members and whatnot. And I've got a ton, an e-ton of audio to show how effective it is with me confronting IRS agents and prosecutors and whatnot. So I'm not hiding anything. So if you're really, truly a skeptic, keep an open mind and look at the evidence. And it's all over the website. He says, your strategy seems to be look at a dismissed case, ergo my strategy works. No, I've always said the strategy is effective independent of whether you go into court and get it tossed out or not. An example I've given over 9,000 times here on the show is that the Fourth Amendment says that you should be secure in your persons and property and whatnot, unless with a warrant with probable cause, and you can use that to get tickets thrown out. Not every time. That doesn't mean it's not effective. Doesn't mean it's not true. Anyway, we'll finish this in the next segment with Jake and his issues, and on the other side of this break, we'll be back in just a moment. So don't go away.